I think comics are a great way for dyslexics to read and practice their reading because, one, they can do it away from school, away from a stress environment, because to a young dyslexic, nothing is more terrifying than reading before the class.
My sister's a Girl Scout troop leader, and it was a situation where she just said, hey, my daughters want the book, and also we have a kid in the group that has dyslexia. Have you ever thought about using dyslexia-friendly fonts? And I was like, I didn't even know that's a thing. Junior high horrors, like I said, all ages horror parody. It's really made for adults and kids alike. Horror fans that grew up with horror movies like Friday the 13th or Nightmare on Elm Street will be drawn to this book. It uses a font called Open Dyslexic, which is an open source font, so anybody can actually use it. It is set up with a bunch of the cues to allow it to help folks with dyslexia actually be able to read it easier. So when you look at the font, you'll notice different weighting of the letters. For example, the letter D, when you see that in the lowercase form, you'll see that it's got a tail on it, but it also has a weighting at the bottom. But when you look at the B, which could be easily turned around by someone with dyslexia, it doesn't have the tail on it. So even though it does still have the weight, it doesn't have the tails. If you know that one's a B or a D, you understand that even if it turns around, it's still that letter. The comic book store that we're in right now, Fight or Flight Comics, one of the owner-managers, Daniel, has dyslexia, so he was one of the first people that I actually brought the comic to actually show it to him when it came out.
I think comics are a great way for dyslexics to read and practice their reading because, one, they can do it away from school, away from a stress environment, because to a young dyslexic, nothing is more terrifying than reading before the class. And one of the coping mechanisms for dyslexia is repetition and rereading. So a comic book's a lot more fun to reread and practice on than, say, I don't know, Wuthering Heights. It's really great to tell a young customer who's dyslexic about this book. You know, I mean, come on, it's junior high horrors. I mean, look at this stuff. It's just fun, it's goofy.
What I love is when I'm sitting at like a convention and I have a teacher come up to me, and the first thing they see when they see the backdrop is they're like, junior high horrors. I'm a middle school teacher. This already sounds great. Now with the dyslexia friendly stuff, the teachers, as I start explaining that to them, just sit there and their eyes get really wide when I'm talking to them about it. They're now sitting there saying, man, maybe I should make my syllabus have the dyslexia-friendly fonts. So, you know, just seeing how teachers have responded, see how kids have responded. I mean, I've had teachers tear up sitting there and talk about it with me because they just know that someone's actually actively doing something for them.